Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television and Board Game. Today I'm Brett. In my hands are two recent releases from Bandai and Games Workshop. It is the latest Bandai Space Marine figures. We have a Salamander Intercessor with bolt rifle, and then we've got an Imperial Fist Intercessor with auto bolt rifle and auxiliary grenade launcher. They're the two latest releases from this line of figures. We got this other one. We have the original one. They've already released a Space Marine figure. We got it right there. For those who watched that review, you know I was kind of unimpressed with the figure, we'll be honest. But you know what? I am a 40K fan, and I am a sucker for these sort of things. So we're going to go open these up and go show them off. We're going to do one at a time, though. So I think we're going to start with... I'm thinking we'll start with the Salamander, because the Imperial Fist, I think, has a little bit variation, a little bit more variation than Salamander figure. For me, I'm kind of just expecting a really solid paint job on this, and you know, the different weapon. Like, that seems to be the difference on these. We also have a White Scar that is coming out figure. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be released, but of course it's ordered. Of course it's ordered. So we'll have a review of that when it eventually is released. But as I said, I'm a sucker for this. It is what it is. And I know people are going to sit there and be like, if you really dislike the figures, why are you ordering it? And you go, because I can get a cool squad of a bunch of them and do photos. Plus, I'm collecting the McFarlane figures, and I feel like I should kind of compare them. Does that make sense? Alright, so let's take the sheet off. The packaging is really nice. I'm going to give them a lot of credit to that. So we immediately have the figure inside. The packaging is really, really, really solid. The presentation is fantastic. So, you know, while I'm kind of iffy on the figure itself, the presentation is nice. The box is really cool. So we get the front, you know, we got the back. You can actually see the various sides of the figure. Like, it's a nice box. I'm not denying on that. All right, let's see here. What do we have? Wow, we got more tape is what we got. So the issue with these figures really is if you're not hopping on them as they come out, like some of the other figures we cover, they're really difficult to get afterwards. The Space Marine figure is going for 2 to 3 times what its initial release was. All right, and the first layer we've got is, of course, the backpack in various hands. I don't think we necessarily need to show off the hands, but we'll definitely need to show off the backpack. I need to do the hands too. Oh, that's why. Really? More tape? Okay, this thing is like taped to ridiculous levels. These things won't cost $100, and they don't tape them this much. Alright. I'm going to keep that here just in case. Alright. I'm going to guess there's going to be more tape for Space Marine itself. Yes! There's more tape! Everything's out. Alright, so immediately we've got the backpack. I kind of want to see the backpack goes on the same. Yep, okay, so it's the exact same. Let's see, the backpack looked a little different to me, a little bit different, but I just wanted to make sure it wasn't. Alright, so we got this 3-pronged backpack. Put it on. So first things first is I have the same issues that I have with the Space Marine, the Ultramarine figure, is that it's very plasticky. It feels like a toy. And, you know, I want a little bit more heft for it. And the thing that's interesting is now that the McFarlane figures are out, like, we have a comparison, you know, something to really compare it with. And the McFarlane figures are you know, a fifth of the price, yet feel way more, there's just more to it. There's more girth to it. I just feel like I'm getting more for my money, which is fascinating. These, I mean, are nice plastic display figures. The McFarlane figures feel more like toys and are much, there's more to it. As far as the design, like, it looks exactly like the Space Marine figure. There is no difference at all. There's a little bit of paint variation, and that's about it. So, very plastic model feel to it. Like, if these were models, that would be kind of awesome. Like, snap together models. That was actually what they should have done. All right, movement. Let's do our movement. Got the toe, foot side to side, up and down. The knees got a lot of bend to it, but I would say generally, like, I'd call it a one joint. We got the hip to the side. Sorry, gotta do this in front of the camera. The arms, same issues I think I had with the Space Marine, is that the shoulders probably pop off. I've already popped off the elbow, which is why it was off the camera a little bit. We get movement with the wrist is pretty heavy. Head to the side, up and down. So yeah, like, the movement's exactly the same. The figure looks exactly the same. The paint job is good. This is good salamander green. There is some nice shading to it. We can see, I don't know how well it's going to come off on the video. There's, like, nice shading around. It's not just solid green. Let's go with that. There we go. I don't know how well that comes off, but it's not solid green. There's you can see the dark shading around the edge of it. That's pretty transparent. You can really see it on the back. There's a lot of darkness there. The chest has got a nice gold to it, and then the flame is really nice. The flame over here. But again, like, this is the issue that I have with the others. Like, the details are really nice with the figure. It's just, this does not feel like a $100 figure. It feels like a, you know, it feels like a $20 figure. I don't see this being 5 times better than the McFarlane figure. And speaking of which, we can actually compare the two because I have it right next. So this is the Bandai. This is the McFarlane figure. It is bigger. It looks like a bigger scale. I'm keeping the feet pretty even. And the McFarlane figure is a little bit better, or a little bit bigger. So it is a fifth of the price, and I think better detailed and girthier. It just feels like more material to it, and it's bigger. So I'm going to keep on saying that the McFarlane figures are where it's at. Like, it's really freaking good. I will probably never get any love from Bandai because of this, but you know what? I'd rather be honest. Alright. Getting the weapon is actually pretty easier. This might be easier than McFarlane. The gun is really nice. I will give credit where credit's due. Their weapons are way nicer than the McFarlane weapons that have come out. We get it's not just a single color monochrome. There's actually some color to it. We get the kind of the flames fill in, which is really cool. There is color to the scope, which is nice. There's actually, like, a hole in the back for that scope. Of course, got a hole in the front for the barrel. So the weapon itself is actually really solid. Plus, you get this cool strap to carry it, which is a nice detail. And the fact that you can move it a little bit is nice as well. Like the Space Marine, there is a knife as well on that one. Fairly easy to pop out hands. So we'll get the knife in here. I think the Ultramarine also had a knife. So it's a nice figure. Like, I'm not totally crapping on the figure. I just don't think it's worth $100. And comparatively, when you have the McFarlane line out, it definitely isn't worth $100. I think the McFarlane line is so far superior. The only difference is you get the hands, which is the big thing, and in some ways the painting is a little bit better. Like the ceramide armor has a little bit more depth to it and shade. The details look really close. Actually the funniest is the depth on the details of the McFarlane one seem to be better in some ways, and this seems to be better in other ways. So we might have to do like a real good comparison between the two lines at some point. So you get 6 hands out of this. You don't get any with the McFarlane. You just get the 2 the figure comes with. So I mean, overall, this is kind of it's a mixed thing. Like, I don't think it's worth the $100 because of McFarlane. But there's some cool differences between the two, and they're really close to scale for each other, which I think is kind of cool. So you can get a couple of these and then get a bunch of the McFarlane ones to like flesh out your forces. So we've of course got this. We've got the other one that we'll do the Imperial Fist, which we'll be doing an unboxing for as well. We've already done one for the Ultramarine. We got the White Scar. Will be on its way whenever it's released. So yeah, lots coming at you when it comes to the Bandai figures. So yeah, I think you get where I'm at with this. Good luck, you can find it. We'll do our best to get some links to it, but they're probably going to be jacked up in prices. We do bring news when these go up on sale, so pay attention to our site at BoardGameToday.com or BoardGameToday.com I think is really where we're covering this. If you want game news, go to BoardGameToday.com. You can follow it on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. If you're interested in comics and toys, check us out at Graphic Policy. We're doing this dual video. That's at graphicpolicy.com, and it's at YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, everywhere, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, as always, keep rolling your dice, keep playing with your toys, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching Board Game Today. We always appreciate your views and your support, but there are so many ways for you to support our site. Not only can you do it right here on video, but you can go and check us out at BoardGameToday.com, where we have more news, reviews, interviews, everything you could ever want. But since you're here, if you can always give us a like, subscribe, or share our videos or watch something else. Is always much appreciated, and get your game on.